The dead are rising, and they require brains to stop the pain of death.
Like these ones!
As a sequel to The Return of the Living Dead, this is another incredible zombie movie, and it excels in giving us fun characters and, well, wacky zombies. These videos take a lot of work to make, so if you enjoy, don't forget to like and subscribe, and be warned, we will be going over spoilers in this breakdown. The movie opens with the military messing up again and losing another barrel with a zombie inside. This dude's just jamming out, and he doesn't notice when his cargo comes loose.
We got a #1 victory royale. Yeah, Fortnite, we about to get down. 10 kills on the board right now.
We then cut to a bit later, where a boy named Jesse is joining a club, but it's clearly just a ploy by some bullies. The main one is named and the other kid's name doesn't matter because he disappears once the movie gets going. The bullies chase Jesse into an old sewer where they find the zombie barrel.
I'm gonna eat your brains, zombie!
The bullies then shove Jesse into a mausoleum and lock him inside. We then meet a trio of grave robbers named Ed, Brenda, and Joey.
It'd be dishonest to give them skulls that weren't buried.
As luck would have it, the grave robbers enter the mausoleum that Jesse is trapped in.
Babyyyyy.
Jesse runs out, leaving Joey and Ed to do their business. The bullies have gone back to the barrel, and when they enter the wrong code, the barrel sprays them with its contents and unleashes the zombie fog upon the graveyard. Why would the wrong code do this, you ask? I don't know. Well, the fog enters the mausoleum, so we get a quick update on our robbers.
Oh, kiss, kiss.
They breathe in the zombie gas, and we cut to see Colonel Glover, who ends up being the same military man from the first film, as he notices that one of his barrels is missing.
Jesus Christ, not again.
Back to Jesse, a cable install guy named Johnny shows up, and he begins to flirt with Jesse's sister, who is named Lucy. Jesse then sneaks out and finds that Billy is now sick after opening the military barrel. Jesse slaps on an N95 and goes to check the barrel. He jots down the phone number on its side, but is interrupted by this movie's version of the Tar Man. Jesse runs away, but his zombie problems are just beginning because the dead begin to rise from their graves. Right out the gate, it's clear that these zombies are much more silly than they were in the first film. They each have different quirks about them, and they seem like much less of a threat as they hobble around instead of sprint and devour the living. Ed and Joey aren't feeling too great, so they sit down and have some dinner, and Ed drops this little callback.
Not me. You'll never find me in one of these. I'm gonna get me cremated.
As they talk, the body behind them comes to life, causing the grave robbers to get the heck out of there. They run past the living dead and meet up with Brenda and run towards the nearest house. They steal Johnny's van, but immediately crash it into an electric box, so when Jesse tries to call the military about the barrel, the phone line goes dead. The dead then begin to surround the grave robbers, so they run inside of Jesse's house.
Oh, they're dead! Yeah, I know! You guys...
Already dead!
Trust me, dead!
Dead! Yeah!
They block the doors as best they can to defend from the zombies, but the head that the robbers stole earlier then comes to life.
Get that damn screwdriver out of the head!
Jesse remembers that a doctor lives next door, and they think that he might have a phone that will work, so they head over to meet the best character in the film, a man named Dr. Mandel.
There seem to be hooligans terrorizing the neighborhood.
No, it's the dead. They've come back to life.
The dead? Dead what?
They forget about the phone really quickly though, and they end up just taking the doctor's car to escape the undead neighborhood. Ed and Joey aren't doing so hot, so they decide to head to the emergency room to hopefully get some help.
I just got this feeling.
Yeah, me too.
No, it's like we've been here before. It's like a dream, this whole thing. You, me, them.
The hospital is completely abandoned, but Dr. Mandel is on the case. Jesse, Johnny, and Lucy decide to scope out the rest of the town to try and find people or supplies, but all they find are zombies. They make it to Jesse's grandpa's house, but while they don't find their grandparents, they do end up finding a cabinet full of guns. They arm up and head back to the hospital, where Ed and Joey have gotten much worse. Dr. Mandel informs everyone that the duo are going through the stages of rigor mortis.
They're not dead, jerk!
Have you noticed he's not breathing? Care to check his heartbeat?
Jesse goes off on his own looking for a way to contact the military, but he's cornered by a zombie. Just before the undead man eats his brains, Lucy shows up and shoots him in half, and then Jesse blasts the half-man with steam. When it doesn't die, they decide to just call it quits and they escape back up the elevator. Brenda then takes Ed and Joey and they steal the car. They happen upon some military men, and Ed fully dies. He then comes back to life and chomps one of the soldiers' brains, and the others call in the retreat. Brenda also leaves Ed just sitting in the street, but he seems pretty content with his brains, so no big deal. The doc, Jesse, Johnny, and Lucy hop into an ambulance, and when they hit a zombie into a sign, it gets electrocuted, and it actually dies. So in this movie, they can destroy the brains and the heads and the bodies of the zombies, but they'll end up being just fine. It's electricity that ends up actually being their weakness. Joey cries to Brenda that dying really hurts, and he says that the only thing that will make him feel better is if he eats her brains. She tries to run, but when Joey corners her, she just kind of lets him eat her brains. Like, love, you know? The ambulance survivors make it to a bridge and try to escape the town, but the military stop them, saying that the whole city is under quarantine. They try to radio for help, but the only reply they get is from this dude.
Come to the hospital.
Pardon me, but could you tell me who the President of the United States is?
Harry Truman.
They decide to go to a butcher shop where they get a truckload of animal brains. They begin tossing the brains out to the zombies, causing a full horde to form and follow them to the power station. They booby trap the whole station to hopefully electrocute the entire horde, but of course, things go awry. The Billy zombie realizes that he can just climb over the fence, and then he ends up opening the gate for the rest of the horde before the booby trap is ready. Johnny and Lucy are forced to hide in the back of the brains truck, and Jesse drives that truck into the power station wall and crashes it. Unfortunately, the Billy zombie is still on the hunt, and he chases Jesse throughout the station. Jesse thinks really quick, and he ends up shoving a screwdriver into the dead bully's mouth, and he's able to switch on the power and send the horde of zombies up in sparks. Billy Zombie isn't done yet. He's able to pull out the screwdriver, and right before he eats Jesse's brain, electrodes crash from the ceiling. Jesse kicks the bully into the electrode and finishes him off for good. Also, this happens. The military arrives at the station and allows the survivors to leave, and we get one more look at the head of the redneck zombie as she goes up in flames.
Okay, no more brain, you win.
And that is where this movie ends. While it's not quite as good as the first movie, I'll still say that this sequel is one of the better zombie movies out there. The zombies and the characters are all just wacky, and the movie just doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's serious enough that you know that they're constantly in life-threatening danger. I also think that it actually captures the chaos of what a zombie apocalypse would be like, especially in the first couple of hours. Like, nobody really knows what's going on, everyone's got questions on their mind, the freaking dead are rising, so yeah, there's just chaos, and it's captured very well in this movie throughout the characters. Overall, like I said, it's not quite as good as the first one, but this is still one of the better zombie movies out there, and I full-heartedly recommend it. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you'd like to see more like this, then check out the All Titles playlist. But yeah, when the dead begin to rise, catch me at home because Ain't no brains up here. Zombies won't be coming after me. Bye-bye.